Hello everybody, my name is Eidolons, and welcome to a little bit of a rant and rave this morning. I know normally I do in a nutshell, and I do still have one more frame to do for that, which is, of course, I still have to do my, what was it, Volt? I believe it's Volt that I have to do another little in a nutshell about. But this morning I want to talk a little bit about the game itself, its balance, and where I hope some of the places this is going to go. Now, right now, I'm in a little bit of a group to go do the Tridolon, as they are often referred to as. Basically, it's Terry, who's the Terrorist, Gary, who's the Gargantualist, and then Harry, which is the Hydralist. Just in case you want to know. Now, what is important about the three is that they draw. First of all, they're good for quill standing, which if you've gotten past the War Within, you're going to know that you want a lot of focus. And focusing, the best way to get focus is by getting the Eidolon shards and trading them in for standing, or saving them for focus, and then of course when standing to the quills because you need their standing. Now, fun stuff about this is beyond that they also give you arcanes, so it's one of those things that you're like, oh well, I need more than everything, so let's just get everything. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead here and jump on my arcade drive. So, one of the things I want to talk about is what I consider to be some of the most important facts about a game. Never mind. Because I need all the Iridiate I can get, so I'm just going to go ahead and run around grabbing Iridiate while we get everything set up for this. Alright. So, a couple things I want to bring up first. We just had Fortuna drop. Fantastic update, really was. It was a great thing. But one of the things I'm really concerned about is I know that because a lot of people have been playing on Fortuna, the Plains of Eidolon have gotten kind of empty, which, I mean, I guess I understand. A lot of people were just doing the Plains of Eidolon because they had nothing else to do, and most people have, I'm sure by now, maxed out Cetus standing pretty effectively. So there's that. Now, one of the things I'm slightly hopeful for is the fact that because we have this new frame who kind of looks like he's an Ostron, and I think other people have mentioned this before, that he kind of looks kind of Ostron-y, we might be seeing some return to the Plains of Cetus in the upcoming, I wouldn't say expansion, but the upcoming releases. Ow. Ow. There's my kitty. Harry. Fine, I'm gonna go into operator mode. Kitty. Okay, he's beeping. Yeah, we have to wait. We got the shields down in operator mode, now we have to wait for our lures to come way over there so we can get them, so he doesn't teleport away from us when we do our stuff. So, something I want to point out to people is, I do believe the Plains of Eidolon are probably going to get a few upgrades after Fortuna sees its second part release, which will more likely not be the release for, which will more likely not be the release for the orb fighters. I think they're gonna. They promised they want to do an event very similar to what was. No, they're going to do an event very similar to the Ghoul event or even the Plague Star event, where we will have the opportunity, the very pleasurable opportunity, at least in my mind, to probably get new kick gun parts, which would be really nice to have. As well as the ability to pick up some, event-limited arcanes and stuff like that, which will be fantastic. Looking forward to that. But after that is completed, there is the fear that Fortuna is going to be abandoned. Because, yes, like I said before, we have that new frame that's coming out that looks kind of Ostron-y. And so, one would assume, okay, well, we're going to go back to the Plains of Eidolon, then you're not going to see anything with Fortuna for a while, and then it's probably going to get put on the back burner while they do things with the Prince of Eidolon, and they're going to do the Prince of Eidolon, and then they're going to go straight into the next one, which obviously is going to be, Mars, or it's going to be, Eris, or whatever else people have been talking about. Personally, I think Eris would be an interesting one with the Infested, but I see Mars as being the more obvious next one to do. So, oh, it's already, wow. Ow! No bug.
Energy spike. I advise falling back.
So anyways, there we have that. As I was just saying, I don't think Fortuna is going to get abandoned, and I really don't think that the Plains of Eidolon are going to be abandoned. I hope that DE will start to pick up some new talent and resources to be able to get themselves the team that they kind of need in order to maintain all the open worlds independently. It's one of the things I'm kind of sort of on the fence about when it comes to them making multiple open worlds, is will they be able to maintain the sheer number of, the sheer amount of content, because each open world is in and of itself its own whole category. They have their own resources they'd use, they have their own, enemies you have to fight, and a lot of them are very, very unique compared to anything else that you've experienced. So, I don't know. It's one of my things that I'm very worried about. I'm really excited to see DE pick up a whole bunch of new, open world environments and having fun with that. I think that's going to be great. But at the same time, I worry that those open worlds are going to be what kills it in the end. Alright, so we got, oops. And we all kind of did an oopie right there. All just kind of did an oopie. Alright, so I can go ahead and go jump my Arcwing now. What? Awesome. Okay, so yeah, just to kind of assuage some concerns that people have had in the past, and some of the ones that I've even had about where the direction of Warframe is going to be going. I honestly think it's going to be perfectly fine. I think the biggest worry we have is that they won't be able to have the resources to maintain all the sheer number of open worlds they're going to have available. I mean, you have to think about this. If there's an open world per planet, and if they keep doing what they're doing, which is expanding the maps each time, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. Trust me, I'm definitely not saying that what they're trying to do is a bad thing in the terms of game. Always try to improve upon what you have. I honestly think that's the case. That's something to think about. If you have all this content that is basically unique in itself, how do you maintain some level of maintenance on those huge amounts of resources that you need to draw? You're talking about bug fixing each area. You're talking about supplying new enemies or even old enemies, or I mean, I suppose for the most part it just comes down to DE's going to have to DE is going to have to allocate resources to do bug fixes, and I really think that should be something that DE would be really good at doing, would be to allocate their resources a little bit more effectively. How did you die again? Oh, beam one. Alright, there we go. So, I'm getting a little off topic, and I realize it's also because I'm also finding these Eidolons, and they can be a little tricky from time to time. So, I apologize if people are getting lost a little bit with what I'm saying, what I'm doing, but just know that I'm having concerns about DE's allocation of resources, how they're deciding to set up their teams, their groups, and what their big projects really are. And the biggest reason why I'm concerned about those projects are, in my opinion, fairly easy to understand.
You are directed to secure and employ additional Eidolon rules.
Alright. That's what Harrow's good for, by the way. Harrow is the reason why we can survive those giant magnetic burns. Alright, so, let's see over here. So in case anyone's wondering about the sound in the background that I'm having, that's the family. As everyone who has watched these videos maybe or may not know, I do these videos via my family's business, I guess you could say, for the most part. But, so there's every so often we have some family disputes that get thrown up in the background, which I apologize for. Which, for the most part, as I previously mentioned, you know, making sure kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing, biggest deal. Or go ahead. Alright. So, another thing I was brought to my attention that I am actually kind of interested in maybe doing some discussion about is there was an interesting conversation that I ran into, I believe on a live stream with Darius Slayer, who's a good friend of mine, streams on Mixer, not really on Twitch. The thing that he was doing, and we were talking about, was how to, first we were just talking about fishing and mining, and I came up with this interesting idea, just all of a sudden out of nowhere. I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if when you're doing that fishing, when you're doing that mining, wouldn't it be neat if in our operator quarters right now we can put up the vinyls, you know, we can go ahead and get ourselves, you know, a fishing, what was it, we can get ourselves a fishing vinyl that we can put our fish into. It's like a fish tank and stuff like that. And we can also make little miniatures and do kind of like a staged mock battles in kind of stasis. Those are all really cool. So my question is, what is stopping DE from doing that for Dojo? What could we have, like, I don't know, a room on the dojo, maybe an aquarium that actually you can build into, or maybe just have a decoration you can build that's actually like an aquarium that you can attach together and they can expand, kind of like a wall. And that would allow players to put their fish into, well, a tank for people to look at inside the dojo. Or what if we went a little farther and said we can put fish into some of those decorative rooms inside, like the ones that have the ponds and whatnot? I think that'd be really cool if you could have the ponds have actual fish in them. And it might be something that, you know, it would give senior players a little bit of a different reason to go into the plains or go into Fortuna and those are all there. Why is there one way the heck over there? But never mind, I want to ask that question. So anyways, if you could do that, then what if we had the idea that you could use a fishing spear in maybe a fishing room? So for example, you go into this room, it's kind of like the way that it's kind of like the way that the dueling room works. And in that sense, you have this really kind of a neat little thing where people can run in. It's a small time instant situation, and you can just go ahead and grab fish that other players have picked up and donated to the clan. This would give let's say someone has like 1.5 billion fish from farming the plains of Eidolon all the damn time, and they've maxed out their standing. They have really no other reason to, you know, they have really no other reason whatsoever to use the fish for anything. They have all the things built. They have everything. Well, if that's really the case, then what is, what would be a really nice feature would be the ability to, oh boy, would be the ability to go ahead and split those fish to helping the players that are part of the clan community. I think that would be a great way of spending resources, at least personally myself. Wait, what? Did we just kill him? Shush. That was really odd that we didn't get the capture from that. Okay. A few glitches, I see. What is this here? Are we doing the next one? Are we doing Harry? Yeah, we didn't get a shard. So, yeah, we're pretty much going around there. Okay, good to know. Woo! We already did. Can I pick this up? There it is. Awesome. So, yeah. It's kind of one of those things where, I don't know. I'm worried about the state of affairs in Warframe, but not for the reasons that a lot of people would be worried about the state of affairs, you know? Alright. And it's just the fact I feel like, or at least I hope, that DE realizes they're going to have to start picking up some new resources for talent to get things put together a little bit nicer. Otherwise, they might be running themselves out of, might be running themselves into a situation where they have 1,000 hours of work to do, but only have, enough people to fill 300 hours at a time. That's a huge amount of resources they're going to have to sacrifice, I suppose you could say. Alright, so, moving on to a better topic. The dojo, I think I've mentioned some stuff about the dojo before. Including but not limited to, giving dojos some interesting, giving the dojo some interesting mechanics where, you can spend resources to give yourself bonuses to certain faction rewards, like a 50% chance to get a double, it's a 50% chance to get a double resources from common materials from the infested. Because often resources are categorized by common, uncommon, and rare. So if you said, okay, you have a 50% chance to get a double common reward when a common reward is dropped, that would be something that might be, plausible and doable and actually kind of fun. I don't think it would be too out of the ballpark to say that would be one of the funnest things I could do for this game, would be like, oh, well, we're going to give you a double reward occasionally when you're doing stuff like this. Sweet. I would love that. Or having, the double corpus rewards, or, just giving people the reason to donate to their clan beyond, well, you can get more blueprints. But you really can do almost all the blueprint research by yourself, so it's not a huge deal. Don't worry about it, not a threat. I really find that a very distasteful thing about dojos. They are so single-mindedly focused. You really don't need an actual clan to do clan stuff. True, it's always a little easier if you can, relegate people to do certain things or donate certain resources, and the more people you have, usually the faster you get research on because you have more research sources to draw upon. But, and here's the but, if you wisp Alright, so if you have all these resources to play around with, that's great. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, now we have like 1,000 neural sensors. If you really have that in your dojo, I am super jealous. But let's say I have, 400 of this, 1,000 of these, all these rare resources. What do I use them for? Because guess what? The dojo cannot do foundry stuff, which in and of itself is kind of a sad thing. But one of the things that Darius brought up...
I advise falling back. That device is insufficient.
Oh, I am not there yet, people.
To secure and employ additional Eidolon lures.
Anyways, so you're like, okay, so what if, and this is Darius's idea, what if you could have a room that would be a foundry that would give people some of the things they've always wanted to have, which a lot of people really, really, really want a way to build numerous items at once. So, say for example, and it's really impressive how much damage you can do. Oh my god, what? There we go. But let's say, for example, you want to build 3 forma at once, or you want to build, What? Who let my cat die? Come on, people. Let's say you want to build 4 forma at once, or 5 forma, or you just want to, have them on auto build so that you can get lots of reasons. You can get those formas pumped out as soon as they happen. That's a great idea. But more often than not, DE probably won't do it because time gating is kind of important to their business mechanics. But as Darius said, what if you could get a building or a room in the dojo that would do just that? So it would be a room that you could put in all the resources that the dojo has accumulated over the years or from all its members, and actually build like forma packs and stuff like that. And then depending on, who knows, maybe a bunch of resources. Maybe you could make it so that players could donate. Every time players donate, they get reputation with your guild. I mean, in many ways, shapes and forms, World of Warcraft has done that for years, making each one of your guilds have their own faction rep. And then by getting up in certain levels with them, you actually gain different things that you can pick up from the shop. There we go. And we killed him again. Oh no! Oh, here he goes. Okay, cool. So, if you made it so that the clans had this basically little shop they could do, and that shop would allow you to get items that would be normally acquired through a foundry, then you could spend like 100 standing on a 10-pack of form or something like that. And yes, the resources would be unfortunately kind of limited. But at the same time, I don't think it'd be too big of an issue. Granted, I am not the most knowledgeable person in the world. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Can I get my cat back? No, of course not. That would be too easy.
Next, you attempt to
So,
take control of it.
if that is really what you could, if you could do that, and maybe it would have to be a little different. You would actually have to do something along the lines of, I don't know, actually spend the resources, build them. So spend the resources and standing in that foundry to make the numerous ones. Then you could get them. I think that would be okay, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like that would be a really good way of improving clans a little bit more than what they are. I really dislike the fact that clans, yes, you can go ahead and you can run into your clan dojo now, and you can go to navigation, and you can get all these stuff done, but you can't do the foundry tasks, which is a little bit depressing. And you can't go ahead and do You can't go ahead and do foundry tasks, which is one of the biggest things that people love to do in their, in their orbiter. And you can't go ahead and do anything along the lines of let's see here. What else is there? I mean, modding. Modding's another one, right? So yeah, so you have, if you could make a foundry room, which would make sense, it is a clan after all. And maybe a clan mod collection or something like that, I don't know. It's hard to say what exactly would be a great idea and what would just be a little bit over the top for, for Warframe. It's really, really hard to say. Personally, though, I think it'd be a wonderful thing to be able to grab yourself, go into your dojo and spend your entire day, once you have a dojo and a clan to play with, in that clan dojo doing stuff with your clan. I think it's an important thing to be able to do. And I'm a little bit disappointed that DE itself has not made that a priority with their community the way it is.
Energy spike. I advise falling back. That device is insufficient. You are directed to
and here we go. There it is. Awesome. So yeah. If there's one big takeaway I want people to take away from this particular rant while I'm fighting Eidolons, is we need to improve the community aspect and goals rather than focusing so much on
energy spike. I advise
well,
falling back.
anything else. The open worlds are nice, don't get me wrong, but I think it's more important for the game at large to have more of a community. A better community than what it already currently has. But again, that's personal opinion, and more often than not, personal opinions don't get noticed too much by DE or really any company for that matter. Which is sad, because I think, like I said, it has a lot of merit to be able to take a community like Warframe, which is honestly one of the best communities in the world I've ever seen for gaming. The only community that I've seen that's a little bit better, and it's kind of one of those things that's iffy whether it's truly better or not, is No Man's Sky. But a lot of the games like that, especially since the company in question who makes that particular game, which I want to say Hello Worlds is the name of the company, which I'm pretty sure I'm right. In the case of Hello Worlds, they have tried so hard to make the game what it's supposed to be. So, I don't know, I feel like for the most part, they have made their community better because they are constantly pushing themselves to be better and to make a better game. I mean, think about what they've done so far. In recent memory with Hello Games, they have released first the, what do they call it? The Abyss. No, they first released No Man's Sky next. Then they released the Abyss, and then they released Visions, and they've been releasing these updates about once a month to try to showcase how dedicated they are to their player community, and on top of that, they've also released community events to furthermore increase the amount of community. What's the word I'm looking for? Community. Gosh, I know the name, and I can't believe I can't remember the. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't remember think of the actual word to go with it. It's not community outreach, it's community interaction. They're looking for more community interaction, and they're doing that by creating these community events where everyone gets rewards by working together. And I think And from what I've seen, it's done a fantastic job of uniting the community, really bringing, No Man's Sky back up to what it was when it was hyped out in the first place.
Sentient enough to contain. You are closing on victory. Act now.
So many people were like, "Oh, Hello Games, they really hyped us up and they didn't give us, they didn't deliver," and there were a lot of very angry people because of it. And yet now we have this community in No Man's Sky where everything's fine. I mean, it's not the greatest game in the world still. They're working really hard on making it work, but they've worked really, really hard over the years to really showcase what they are trying to do. Oh, I have a nice little grouping right here. So, I don't know. I feel like for the most part, Hello Games is a good example of how to bring your community together. And I know DE has already done a very good job at creating their environments, their worlds, and to some degree their concepts. But one of the things DE needs some serious help in is they need help with the sheer amount of work they present themselves. If that doesn't make much sense, I'll put it a little bit simpler. They need to bring the community further together than what they already have. And they have done a great job. Don't get me wrong. They have done a phenomenal job making their community bend together, lift together, whatever you want to call it. But the biggest problem that they have is that they don't have the ability to, or they haven't yet done the big time community events that really draw the fans together. Because no matter what you do with the ghouls, it's a time limited thing. You do the ghouls, they last until their percentage is up, and then it's over. The invasions are the same way. There really is no dynamic, living, organic environment to play with. That's not how Warframe works. There is no big changes or cosmetic rewards or anything that you can get if you all play together. As it stands, if you play in a squad, each mission gets a little harder, but it's also a little easier because you have more people to soak up bullets. That's kind of how it plays out. But shouldn't it be more than that? I personally think it should. And to that end, I really hope that even if the only people who watch this video are those who watch my channel, often, which may not be very many people at all, I hope you give it some thought. Like, what could DE do? Maybe not to make the game more amazing, just to get the community more involved in different events, make them invest some time in the world itself. It's easy to say, oh, I'm doing this for the rewards. But invest into the characters, and you tend to get a better community. A lot of people love Polo and Nada from No Man's Sky. They think they're great characters. But that doesn't mean that just because just because Warframe hasn't done it yet, doesn't mean that they can't. I mean, I know lots of people who are like, oh, I really like, legs. Thursby is awesome. I love Thursby. And people got really invested emotionally in some regard with how Thursby was repoed. And the Fortuna itself is kind of playing to the idea that it's a very emotional story. So I think DE is starting to head that direction. At least I'm hoping they are. But we don't know. So everybody, this has been a fairly long video, so I will end it here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week or your day or whatever you're doing, and I will see you guys next time.